Liebe Freude, nach 5 Jahren kehren wir nun endlich zurück in den Schulunterricht. Denn Secrets of Strixhaven steht in den Startlöchern und in diesem Video schauen wir uns das neu erschienene Debütvideo zu Secrets of Strixhaven an und geben unseren Senf dazu. Schreibt uns gerne in die Kommentare, wie ihr das neue Set, die Artworks und die neuen Karten findet. Würde uns auf jeden Fall interessieren und wir gehen direkt rein. Ja Leute, herzlich willkommen zu unserer kleinen Watch Party. Jetzt ist es endlich soweit. Strixhaven, die Secrets of Strixhaven werden nun offenbart. Freunde, seid ihr gespannt?
Ich habe ultra Bock, ich habe mega Bock, vor allem nach so viel Universe Beyond, mal wieder ein richtiges Magic-Set, also gebt mir Strixhaven. Es ist noch gar nicht so lang her, aber irgendwie fühlt es sich schon lang her.
Schon länger
also,
her, als du denkst, glaube ich.
6 Jahre, glaube ich, oder?
Krass.
Ja, sorry.
Ja, müsste ungefähr. Oder? Ja, nicht ganz, oder?
Oder
Krass.
war das C21, vielleicht 5 Jahre, sowas.
Müssen wir nochmal checken. Aber ich habe Bock, weil es soll ja auch einen neuen CG-Trailer geben, seit langem mal wieder. Das heißt, das wird nice. Da bin ich gespannt.
Geil,
Ja schon länger
geil.
nicht
Lass starten!
Hauen wir rein, oder? Direkt.
Dann gehen wir direkt rein. Let's go.
We failed? What do you mean, we failed?
The deadline was a deadline.
Please, Professor Fell, I can't fail. There has to be something we can do.
Perhaps. A very important creature recently escaped into the mystical archives. Retrieve it for me by noon, and I'll reconsider.
You won't regret this, Professor Fell.
Is it dangerous?
Chop chop.
Natürlich ist es gefährlich.
Nice.
Das sind alle Schüler, die auch auf Morgen machen, gell?
Ja.
Ja.
We don't have long. We better... Huh?
That's the creature?
I got this. For Lord!
Whoops.
Don't let them get away!
Nice.
I got it. Wait. No, I don't.
Everyone, come on!
We're running out of time. Fortune favors the bold.
Voll lang, gell?
Oh, das ist der. Oh. Wow. Heftig.
Hold on. Gotcha. Field trip's over. It's now or never. The portal.
Ah, you're just in time.
Oh.
I do hate
Iggy.
Congratulations. You didn't disappoint me. Now for your next assignment.
Okay.
Nach der Mayo.
Der leckere Frosch.
Was ist das? Oh, wow, okay. Ja, also eigentlich einfach nur irgendwelche Abenteuer außerhalb jetzt mittlerweile der Schule erleben. So ist wahrscheinlich auch dann das Credo dieser Edition.
Ja, voll geil.
Ja, witzig. Ja, voll.
Mega, ja.
Ja.
Also, Sound war super gut. Also, mich hat's gut in die
Ja,
Welt
voll.
reingeholt, muss ich sagen.
Und auch die Länge jetzt
Und
so
dieses
drei
Ding da?
Minuten ist schon geil, ja.
Ja,
Dieses
voll.
Viech, ja.
Dieses Viech war ultra geil.
Ja.
Richtig gut. Klar, natürlich bei diesem Froggo hat man sich gedacht, okay, wie macht man wirklich wieder so ein süßes Ding? Haben sie aber auch wieder hinbekommen, weißt du? So die Zunge schlabbert.
Ja, das macht schon was her. Es irgendwie saugt einen schon in die Welt auf, so ein richtiger Trailer, ne?
Mhm.
Schon
Ja.
nice.
Cool.
Cool. Gut. Dann, der Vibe ist schon mal da. Dann machen wir mal weiter.
Yes.
I've always seen myself a student and a scholar of Magic the Gathering.
Oh,
And so I
geil.
feel
Oh,
right
that's
at home in the
Sam.
halls of Strixhaven.
Sam.
Today I will
Aw.
be speaking with folks from Wizards of the Coast who worked on this set to learn more about this school and our second visit to its campus.
So cool.
Welcome to Secrets of Strixhaven. Okay, we are going back to Strixhaven for Secrets of Strixhaven. I have a million questions. I guess the simplest thing to ask is what's going on?
Well, we are returning to the plane of Arcavios. This was really a chance for us to dive into everything that's happened to this plane since the last time we were here in Strixhaven School of Mages.
What's happened since the last time we were here, the previously on Strixhaven?
The biggest event was the Phyrexian invasion in March of the Machine.
The Phyrexians invaded the multiverse, which included Arcavios and Strixhaven.
Biblioplex was destroyed. There were a number of casualties.
The deaths of many professors and some students.
You really feel and see the scars of the invasion across Strixhaven and Arcavios.
From the very beginning, a lot of what's going on with the Return to set is what are we doing the same as last time and what are we doing different from last time?
The main question you really always have to start with is, what do people love about this setting? What do we want to see again? What do we need to take forward because it's so core and foundational?
You want there to be a lot of new things, but you also want there to be all that fan favorite stuff that you're delivering on again. Something very honest and true to the original.
We're always iterating, we're always looking for a new way to approach something, to get our fans excited.
The original Strixhaven School of Mages was so much about each of the colleges, giving each of the colleges an identity and making players feel what they were each about.
Prismari is our artistic school.
They are the art students.
Big, flashy magic. It's very colorful. It's very lively.
You never want to miss a performance by the Prismari.
Lorehold, they have this very fighting, adventuring archaeologist vibe.
Outgoing and athletic and really want to venture out into the field.
Quandrix are the math geeks.
They are the sort of brilliant geniuses.
Math gets to really shine.
It's all about fractals and equations and exploring mathematics in the realm of magic.
Silverquill.
They are the College of Eloquence. They're highly competitive. They're very linguistic. They have large vocabularies.
Silverquill is all about influence. They're very confident, a little arrogant. They're going to get their way.
Witherbloom.
We called them our goth punk students.
They're not afraid to get dirty,
They are fiercely protective of the natural world, very much a celebration of the full cycle of life and death.
People really resonated with it the first time around. The first Strixhaven School of Mages was really Gen Ed. This is, 201. We're trying to, go a little deeper. A lot of awesome, cool things to discover.
And I think really the best way is to show you some of what's going on here.
Show, don't tell.
So,
Give me the cards.
Let's start with
Yes.
the dragons are back.
Beautiful.
We definitely couldn't return to
So
Strixhaven
good.
without having the 5 Elder Dragons.
Everyone loves dragons. It's kind of hard to find someone, especially a magic player, who's like, I don't like dragons.
You can't have a magic set I worked on without some dragons in it.
The fact that Strixhaven was started by these 5 elder dragons is one of my favorite parts of the story.
They came to
Da können wir kurz mal gucken.
Okay, ja, okay.
Jetzt sind ja alle dann da. Ich glaube, Lorehold war schon vorher gespoilt, ne?
Lorehold war schon gespoilt, genau.
ja.
Ich glaube, Witherbloom auch. Den hatten
Ja,
wir auch
Witherbloom.
schon gesehen. Wir fangen mal von links an, oder? Schauen wir mal Silverquill.
Ja.
Flying Vigilance, each instance Casualty. Okay.
Ah, okay. Wieder irgendwas opfern und dann
Kriegst du eine
musst du so
Kopie.
viel Power opfern und kriegst du eine Kopie von dem Spell. As you cast that spell, you may
Okay.
sacrifice a creature. Moment.
Aber es klingt ja mega stark. Einfach für eine.
Ja,
Also,
geil.
also 1 erfüllt ja fast erfüllt ja fast quasi jede Kreatur, jeder Token.
Ja.
Das muss einfach einen
Ja.
Token opfern, kriegst eine Spellkopie. Das ist ja mega geil.
Okay, krass. Und Prismari, Flying, Ward, Pay 5 Life und Instant Sorcery Spells you cast have Storm. Das ist schon krass. Mir fällt auch jetzt auf, dass halt alle die Textline haben, Instant Sorcery Spells have XY.
Ja.
Ist geil.
Das ist schon krass.
Okay, Ward Pay 5 Life, gut für 7 Mana, 7/7 Flying, ja, okay, aber trotzdem dann
Alles hat Storm, ist schon
Sorcery.
heftig.
Ja, richtig krass. Das Witherbloom, The Balancer, 8 Mana, also jetzt richtig heavy, was Mana
Aber der
Value
kostet
angeht.
halt wesentlich
Affinity for Creatures.
weniger.
Eigentlich kostet der nur 2.
Ja. Wahrscheinlich kostet der nur 2, genau. Flying Death Touch, Instant Sorcery Spells you cast have Affinity for Creatures.
Das finde ich auch crazy.
What?
Das ist krass. Das ist krass. In Token-Decks, holy shit.
Ja, also das
Hä?
finde ich auch crazy.
Freunde, das ist ja fast schon ein Token-Deck und so. Okay.
Dann, Lord hatten wir, genau, jeder Spell hat Miracle 2.
2.
Ja.
Und,
Okay.
Und Quandrix the Proof, Flying Trample, Cascade.
Cascade. Und jeder Spell
Ah.
Instant Sorcery
Und
Cascade.
Da freut sich
von der Hand
sich
castest.
Benze.
Okay, aber du gehst nicht in so einen Cascade-Loop immerhin.
Ja.
Da freut sich Benze. Oh, das ist insane für Benze. Das muss er upgraden. Hey.
Muss er upgraden. Ja, die sind krass, ne? Also jetzt irgendwie.
Die lesen sich
wenn
alle
ich die
sehr
alle
stark.
Wenn ich die alle so lese, kommt mir jetzt fast schon Lorehold ein bisschen am schwächsten vor, der jetzt vorab schon gespoilt war. Die anderen sind schon noch mal eine Ecke krasser, habe ich das Gefühl. Ja.
Ja, aber Lorehold hat ja auch Miracle 2, das heißt, du kannst richtige Big Spells nach oben legen und dann.
Stimmt, ja, stimmt schon. Ja, klar, auch gut. Ja, alle crazy ein bisschen.
Each opponent's upkeep.
Ah, okay.
Das ist halt krass.
Ah, okay.
Und dann kannst du 2.
Ach so, jeder, die du auch im gegnerischen Zug ziehst, ne, könntest du theoretisch
Ja, genau.
Ah, okay.
Die erste Karte, die du im Zug ziehst, hat Miracle.
Ah, I see. Okay, du musst halt nur irgendwie oben ein bisschen manipulieren können.
Ja. Wird schwierig natürlich mit Boros, beziehungsweise mit Lorehold.
Ja, in dem Fall nicht ganz so einfach.
Aber es gibt ja auch, es ist Scroll Stack, wie heißt das?
Scroll Rack und die
Scroll Rack und so.
Top und sowas.
Sensei.
Ja.
Okay, alright, cool.
Die lesen sich alle ziemlich krass. Also auch nicht nur in Decks, die irgendwie super viel Instant Sorceries spielen, sondern ich glaube, die kannst du einfach, also hast ein Boros-Deck, packst du den neuen Lorehold rein. Also,
ja, du brauchst schon viele Instant Sorceries, sonst mischt du ja keine.
Ja.
Und sonst ist es einfach für 5 Mana eine 5/5 Flying Haste. Also ist schon auch geil. Und vor allen Dingen, egal was es ist, das hat auch noch die Fähigkeit at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. Also das heißt, du machst es jedes Mal. Das heißt, eigentlich ist die zweite Fähigkeit von ihm egal. Du discardest irgendwas, du ziehst irgendwas. Also das heißt, auch ohne diese Miracle-Sache ist es schon eine starke Kreatur.
Der Storm macht mich fertig, Leute.
Der Storm ist.
Der Storm macht.
Ich meine, der Brudi kostet halt auch 7, aber.
Ja, aber wenn du da nochmal drankommst, dann geht's halt richtig los.
Ja, da ist dann Ende Gelände.
Ja, geil.
Krass.
Storm is back on the menu!
Gut,
die Dragons haben nochmal, ich würde sagen, alle nochmal eine Schippe draufgelegt.
Ja, voll.
Ja.
Okay, ich mach mal weiter.
Good.
Together and said we want to create the best mystical university known to man.
They're each unique in their approaches to their scholarly pursuits, which is why their colleges are so different and the magic of each college is so different, but unique also in the way that their anatomy is dragons look, which is always really fun.
They're powerful dragons. They need to be more powerful than anyone else that we're going to be seeing on this plane.
They've got some really awesome abilities, really iconic designs, and just are a lot of fun.
Do you have a favorite?
Der Maler.
Don't make me choose.
I know, but I'm trying to.
I mean, I think Lorehold's pretty awesome.
I agree.
So every single time we do a return to set, we like to poll our players, like, what do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? And what we heard loud and clear is people want to know what's going on in Arcadia? So it was really important for us to get outside of just the university itself.
We wanted to zoom the camera out a little bit and show off more of the world.
Expand the boundaries and go beyond just the school campus itself into Arcavios.
Last time, we really stayed on the college campus, and so for this set, we've actually developed 5 brand new field locations where our students go out and study the real world.
5 different research locations that the students go to that are really themed around the core ideas of the schools.
Befitting of the school's identity.
Being outside of the safety of the school, which especially in a world where spells and archaics exist, things can get dangerous very, very quickly.
If I'm a Lorehold student and I love history, what is my road, like what is my field trip? Where am I going?
Well, the Lorehold location for this set is called the Fields of Strife, and it is an endless...
What delightful, wow, what a wonderful,
yeah,
what a wonderful outing.
I don't know if you knew, but Arcavios had a blood age. They were at war for about 700 years. The Fields of Strife are one of the locations of these epic ancient battlefields. Layers upon layers of warriors and spirits fighting each other, and the strange magic that pervades the location means that these spirits never really disappear. And so the students go there for a very first-hand account of what happened during these battles. One of the dangers is that strange magic of the location can sometimes affect you, and every so often a student gets lost to the battlefield.
Cool.
It's really the cast of characters for me. We brought back these characters because fans wanted to see what they're up to. You know, a lot has happened on Strixhaven since the original. What are they up to now?
I think a lot of our players are going to be able to find themselves in these characters and really relate to their lived experiences. I love the fact that there's 5 different colleges and that you kind of get to choose and find your own identity, figuring out your own self-expression. It's kind of our coming-of-age magic set where you kind of explore what does it mean to be a young adult? Who are you? What do you want to do with the world? What are your aspirations and what are your dreams?
Each of them kind of represents a slightly different archetype from within the school.
You have characters like Killian and Rutha. They were sophomores in the original timeline. They were just draft uncommons then, but they've elevated up to now commander size in the leads of the commander decks.
We get to see where they are in their journey now,
Oh,
how
yeah.
they change
Commander
as they
decks.
go from being young adults into the real world.
So Ralzeric is back and he has a new color identity.
You know, sometimes we need a change.
What?
Ralzeric is here as a visiting
What?
fellow. And we all know Ral, the famous Orzhov lawyer.
He's in the school that you would expect.
Mono Black.
Mono Black Ral.
Wow.
Guest Lecturer.
Das sieht aber ganz cool aus, so in schwarz, muss ich sagen.
Ja.
Macht was her.
Okay. Flip 5 Coins, okay. Das wird wahrscheinlich nicht passieren.
Guck mal, hast du weitergelesen? Target opponent skips their next X turns.
What?
Correct is the number of coins that came up heads.
Oh Leute, bitte nicht. Bitte nicht.
Der muss mein Coinflip-Deck unbedingt.
Ja, sorry.
Hey, aber
du
das ist-
skippst jetzt deine nächsten 4 Turns.
Ja. Aber das ist doch irgendwie auch Liliana-Style, oder? Also es hat kein Sacrifice-Creature, aber any number of target played, each discard a card, Surveillance, für 3 Mana. Hallo. Cool.
Ja, und -2, so ein kleiner
Reanimate,
Sandtitan. Das ist schon ganz
Ja.
nice. Also
Ja, okay.
Für 3 Loyalty ist okay, finde ich.
3 Fähigkeiten, die du einfach einsetzen kannst, flexibel, ist schon geil. Mal sehen, die anderen auch so.
Du kannst ein Fetchland wiederholen. Schon nicht schlecht.
Stimmt, oh.
Ich meine,
Krass.
auf 7 zu kommen ist halt nicht leicht,
Nee.
nur durch ihn selbst. Ohne
Ja.
Proliferate ist es halt echt fast unmöglich.
Ja,
Aber Target
das-
Creature,
das
nicht
ist
Target Permanent, ne?
quatschig.
Ach so, Creature, ja, du hast recht, sorry, da habe ich.
Das wär auch saugeil.
Ja, das wäre
Uhu.
das wär zu.
Ähm,
Okay, nur Creature, ja.
Right.
Nice, ja.
Gut. Ja.
Silverquill.
He's been invited by the faculty at Silverquill to be a guest speaker and a guest lecturer. And he's also here kind of part of that continuation of his investigations that he was doing way back in Bloomborough. There will be a side story that focuses on him.
This was a really fun thing that we decided to do. I can't say too much about it, but I think our fans are really going to enjoy it.
And you'll notice one of some of the other cards that are going around. We have the mascots.
Okay.
Last time we had the mascots in each school. This time, instead of only being on token cards, we put them on a few creature cards as well.
So the mascots are
Yeah.
representative
Pest.
in many ways
Yeah.
of each of the
Ooh,
schools.
pest.
I kind of think of them as a little bit somewhere between a familiar and
Nice.
like a summon. Kind of depends a little bit on the school. Witherbloom might be my favorite mascots. They're the pests, and they are less familiars. They're not summoned. Witherbloom students use pests as ingredients and life essence for their spells, but sometimes they might grow a little attached to them. They are pests in part because they are a little bit of a nuisance, and they have been known to be a valid excuse for the pest ate your homework.
The pests are the best ones.
The pests are the best.
The pests are the best. Do you agree with me?
Okay. No, the pests are sweet this time around. You know, they've elevated their animal shapes now. You know, Inklings used to be a little blot.
Still
Now
have
they're-
those weird mouths though, which is lots of teeth. It's like little lamprey faces.
Oh, I see. There's a favorite, clearly. Okay, that's fine. I thought Spirit Ox might be in contention.
Spirit
but
Ox is pretty good too.
That feels very heroic, you know?
We had a lot of fun making them even more playable, putting those extra types on the cards, but also really giving some more character, especially now that they're on their own creature cards, to each of these types of mascots. How do you feel about Exponent?
I feel exponentially awful the longer I look at a card like this.
Mathemagic's self-indulgence through and through.
We had a lot of conversations. Do we really want to expect players to know what 2 to the 5th is?
Math magic is pretty exciting. It's one of those things that comes up in development and you're like, aha, this would be a fun joke, and then it stays in the file and it stays in the file, and at some point you have to have a conversation with everyone. You're like, are we actually keeping this in the set?
In case you haven't noticed, a lot of game design are exponentially happy about Exponent. I think this card stayed basically the same.
Yeah, honestly, from like Notepad to conception, it stayed the same. Even the name of the card, which was kind of incredible. I was really excited to see people's response.
Ja, die war ja auch schon im Vorfeld gespoilt. Ne?
Ja, stimmt. Also basically,
okay, die habe ich noch gar nicht gesehen.
Für 12 Mana kannst du 32 Karten ziehen, oder?
Da unten steht's ja dran, ne?
Ja, genau. Also wenn du 5x2 gegeben hast, dann kannst du 10 plus 2 sind 12. Also für 12 Mana kannst du dann schön 32, ein Drittel deiner Library ziehen.
Ist eine witzige Karte, auf jeden Fall.
Ja,
aber es
für
fühlt sich ein
12
bisschen
Mana,
nach Custom Magic an, irgendwie.
Ein bisschen schon, ja. And so on in der Klammer noch so dabei. And so
Ja.
on.
Ja gut, aber mehr kannst du dann auch nicht. Also 2 hoch 7 geht dann nicht mehr. Also 64 und dann ist schon 128 so.
128. Aber wieso? Geht doch dann. Target Player. Kannst auf Gegner machen.
Ach so.
Stimmt. Ja,
Oh, Wolle. An was denkst du denn schon wieder?
Nice.
Ja, ist aber trotzdem ein bisschen teuer, ne? Von den Mana-Kosten her. Aber wenn es jemand schafft,
Ja,
dann nehme ich es hin.
ich meine,
Dann lass ich
für
mich
16 Mana, jemand verliert einen Zug, für das Spiel schon nicht
Das ist
schlecht.
schon okay, ja.
It's just really cool and bombastic. You can draw so many cards, or make your opponent draw a lot of cards. Opponent draw a lot.
I think you know the answer to this. If I spend 10 for X, how many cards does target player, me, draw?
Oh, so you're asking what 2 to the 10th is, which is, as everyone knows, 1,024.
Well, I did my homework before I sat down with you all, and I happen to know that if you spend 100 mana on Mathemagics, you draw 562 trillion cards.
I strongly suggest that you do not draw those cards.
As Magic grows and expands as a game, we get the opportunity to take kind of risks like this, and it's something that I hope fans really enjoy.
People read it and they either love it or hate it. And I love that.
There's a pair of cards that I personally really love. This was an early development playtest name that game design put in, and we were just like, this is perfect. It's called Procrastinate, and it's just literally the art is this little frog, and he's asleep, and he's procrastinating on his homework.
Procrastinate is one of my favorite cards.
Aw.
So just reminiscent of things I thought about so much in school.
I really love cards like this because it basically allows you to take a real world concept and then think, what would this look like translated into a Magic card?
Another example of a card name that stuck around from the beginning of the file because it was so perfect for the idea of putting stun counters on another creature. I really love that we get these little, I would say relatable
moments.
Relatable moments, yeah. Who amongst us?
Stress Dream also resonates a lot, but it really takes me back to school days and just a different era of my life.
Have you ever had a stress dream?
Yeah, I felt a little personally attacked when I saw these cards in the file. It's a little bit too close to home.
I thought I could come to Magic to get away from the horrors of grad school, and yet, stress, dream, and procrastinate.
Remind you that the horrors persist.
They persist, yeah. But persist is not a mechanic, right?
No,
Very well, okay.
Da sind sie.
All right, Jadine, the only thing better than talking about magic cards is playing magic cards. Drama card for turn. I'll play Basic Island, and I'm going to cast Landscape Painter. This is a card that looks like the dragon cards, but it's not. It has the word prepare on it. Can you please teach me how to play with this card?
Yes, you have found a prepared creature. So prepare is one of our new mechanics. It is a mechanic that lets your creature cast a spell.
Prepare is awesome. I am so excited about this one. It's the type of mechanic that once you see it, you're really surprised that we haven't done it before.
It is a mechanic that isn't college specific. It is just everywhere in Strixhaven.
Creatures can enter prepared, and then they get to cast instants and sorceries.
And one of the really fun things about this is we were able to choose a lot of iconic spells through Magic's history, and so you get to have that feeling of casting these spells, some of which a lot of players have never cast before.
Emeritus of Ideation is an awesome blue creature.
The Emeritus cycle
Da ist er.
Oi. Emeritus of Ideation. Ancestral Recall.
Ancestral Recall?
What? Target player draws 3 cards. Okay, also nochmal.
List Wizards? Was geht ab? Ist diese kleine
Also
Ecke nicht auf der Reserve-List?
Vor allem für 5 Mana, 5/5 Flying Ward 2. Okay. Allein das schon alles wert. Enters Prepared, und das heißt, nochmal, habt ihr das verstanden mit Prepared?
Ja, die muss halt prepared sein, sodass du den Spellteil spielen kannst, sozusagen. Ne? Wenn sie prepared ist, ob sie jetzt durch Entern. Ich weiß nicht, ich habe nicht verstanden, ob alle immer prepared entern oder ob man auch andere.
Die wir bisher gesehen haben, stand immer dran, enters prepared. Ja.
Attacks,
Weil die kann sich ja nochmal preparen, wenn sie angreift und du 8 Karten hast im Graveyard und 6 schickst, dann ist sie ja wieder prepared, dann kannst du wieder 3 Karten ziehen für einen.
Okay,
ich gehe davon aus, dass manche aber nicht die Möglichkeit haben, nochmal prepared
genau,
zu
diese
werden.
erste Karte.
Außer du flickerst sie halt oder so.
Also eigentlich ist es so eine Kickerkost, oder? Mit, wenn das Ding reinkommt, enters prepared, du zahlst noch 1 Mana und kannst 3 Karten ziehen.
Du kannst es auch später machen. Und wenn du jetzt nur 5 Mana hast, du kannst ja auch später das bezahlen.
Ach so.
Du kannst den Spell spielen, also du kannst Ancestral Recall dann casten, wann immer du willst.
Genau. Du musst es nicht sofort machen.
Ja. Und dann wird die Kreatur unprepared.
Genau, dann wird die unprepared, und wenn du dann die wieder prepared kriegst, wie auch immer, durch Flickern, oder vielleicht gibt es ja auch Karten, die Kreaturen preparen können oder so. Im Draft-Set oder so. Und dann kannst du nochmal den Spell machen, ja.
Insane, okay.
Klingt
Das
eigentlich
wird
geil,
schon eine
gell?
Chase-Karte sein. Ja,
Das ist schon cool. Ist halt ein bisschen wie Adventure, nur andersrum.
Ja.
Also, dass du halt erst die Kreatur und dann den Spell.
Ich meine, aber du musst
und
halt auch
Adventure kommt immer wieder.
Du musst halt auf die Kreatur aufpassen, weil wenn du jetzt den Spell nicht benutzt und die Kreatur weg ist, kannst du natürlich auch den Spell nicht mehr machen.
Klar, aber jetzt zum Beispiel in Instant kannst du ja trotzdem auf den Stack knallen.
Also
Ne?
wenn du jetzt mal 2 hast, klar, ja.
Krass.
Okay, krass.
Einfach nochmal eine Karte.
Ja, ich bin gespannt, was noch kommt. Also ich wurde ja angedeutet, dass sie jetzt diesen Cycle von den alten Ein-Mana-Karten wahrscheinlich drin haben. Aber was ist dann mit Weiß?
Weiß wird dann, du kriegst 3 Leben oder so.
Ja,
und bei Grün wäre es Giant Growth +3/+3.
Das ist dann irgendwie so.
Schwarz ist aber geil, ne? Dark Ritual.
Und Lightning
Dark
Bolt.
Ritual, stimmt.
Also die sind ja alle geil. Die sind ja alle geil, aber also ich meine, Weiß ist halt okay. Ich bin mal gespannt, ob die den Weißen spoilen und ob der Weiße wirklich nur 3 Leben macht oder irgendwie ein bisschen geil ist.
Casting really famous spells from Magic. Emeritus of Ideation, cast Ancestral Recall.
What is cooler than being able to cast something like Ancestral Recall?
Well, I've certainly never cast it in my life.
Maybe the most powerful instant ever made.
Our headliner for this set features art by Mark Poole, who's actually the original artist for Ancestral Recall, so it was really exciting to be able to have him come back.
Working with Mark Poole is always an absolute treat. He's just a delight to work with every time.
Seeing Ancestral Recall on a card is I don't know, it just brings back memories.
I've been playing Magic a long time, and before we were working on that card, I had never cast Ancestral Recall. And let me say, wow.
Grave Researcher is an awesome card. black creature that gets to prepare Reanimate, one of the most iconic Magic cards of all
Yeah.
time. I mean, we call these decks reanimation decks.
Joined Researchers is one of my favorite examples of a prepared card because it's a callback to Secret Rendezvous, which was a card in the original Strixhaven set. that
Geil.
featured These two characters from different
Stark.
schools meeting surreptitiously
nice.
with each
Ah,
other,
das ist cool.
share
So cool.
Das ist cool, ja.
Okay,
Aber
das
dann-
ist sau cool.
Aber dann ist ja hier die Bestätigung, die entern nicht immer prepared. Manchmal muss man noch was dafür tun.
Das ist nicht der Cycle, das ist nicht die
Ich
Emeritus.
weiß, nee, aber ich meine allgemein bei
Nee.
der Fähigkeit. Die sind nicht immer automatisch
Ja.
prepared, sondern man muss auch manchmal noch irgendwas dafür tun.
Ja.
Das finde ich mega cool. Secret Rendezvous ist so eine beliebte Karte, finde ich. Und dass
Ja.
sie die jetzt so sozusagen nochmal Reminiszenz
Ja.
darauf bringen und die zwei als Kreaturen nochmal mit reinpacken, ist
Ja.
geil. Das ist echt cool.
Richtig gut.
Aber es ist voll interessant. Glaubt ihr, dann sind nur schon bekannte Spells auf den Prepare-Karten? Weil vorher war ja Reanimate. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob überhaupt schon ein neuer
Ja.
Spell war oder ob es immer irgendwelche Referenzen auf andere Spells sind. Da bin ich mal gespannt.
Ich weiß es nicht. Ich meine, die können das auch gerne so ein bisschen mixen, aber solche Sachen sind halt einfach so kleine Jams.
Ja, ist schon ein geiler Callback. Ja.
information, and I just always loved that card so much.
Biblioplex Tomekeeper is one of these cards that gets to have a little fun with the prepare mechanic. A lot of these prepare creatures enter prepared, but maybe don't have a way to re-prepare themselves, but we wanted to come up with something that allowed you to re-prepare some of your creatures, and we thought it was fun to have some counterplay so you can unprepare something too.
Paradigm is the other mechanic in the set that isn't tied to any specific faction.
Paradigm was a way for us to really express that this is a set about instants and sorceries.
It features on these thesis type cards, and the idea is that it shows you an encapsulation of what it looks like at the end of your study at Strixhaven. What is your big final magical spell?
So for example, with improvisation capstone being your final performance, this was a chance for us to really showcase one of the students giving their final graduation performance at Spectacle Summit.
It is a cycle, there's one for each color, and I find these really exciting because once you cast it, you basically get to cast it for free over and over and over again throughout the game.
The colleges, though, are still really important.
Habt ihr das
We decided
verstanden?
The best thing to do was to give
Ja.
them each color.
Okay, also das ist eine Lesson auf jeden Fall schon mal. Das ist ja mal ganz interessant. Die ist sehr teuer. Und was ist Paradigm?
Then exile this spell after you first resolve the spell with this name. You may cast a copy of it from exile without paying its mana cost at the beginning of each of your first main phases.
Das heißt, du castest den einmal und dann castest du ihn einfach jedes Mal wieder.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ja, auf each of your main phases, ja genau. Also der kommt dann einfach immer wieder und wieder. Jede
Was?
Runde.
Okay.
Okay, dann gehe ich davon aus, dass die aber alle relativ hohe Kosten haben wahrscheinlich.
Ja, sonst macht es ja nie
Wenn du die
wenig
einfach-
so.
Wenn du die einfach immer wieder umsonst bekommst.
Ja.
Ja.
Abgefahren. Coole Mechanik.
Ja, ist interessant.
Exciting because once you cast it, you basically get to cast it for free over and over and over again throughout the game.
The colleges, though, are still really important. We decided the best thing to do was to give them each their own mechanic.
So in each of these, the keywords are really getting to kind of a core idea of all of the schools.
It adds depth and it also adds accessibility. Keywords are really nice in draft because they help players kind of path their way into a school.
The silver quill mechanic is repartee.
It basically has the idea of you're targeting different.
Oh.
Repartee. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell that targets a creature, exile up to one target creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next instant. Aber wahrscheinlich ist es Repartee, sowas, whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell that targets a, oder irgendwie sowas, dass das immer wieder
Du darfst dann was flickern,
zurückkehrt.
oder? Das ist einfach, du darfst dann das flickern. Wenn du was.
Ja, ich will einfach nur sagen, wahrscheinlich kommt es öfters vor, dieses Repartee oder wie das
Also,
heißt.
wie ich verstanden habe, ist Repartee die Fähigkeit von hier Silver Quill und die wird immer gleich sein.
Ja.
Also du wirst immer was flickern können wahrscheinlich, was ziemlich krass ist, finde ich.
Ja.
Weil der
Oder
Typ
nur die
ja,
erste Bedingung.
Weil der Typ ja, wenn du den ja flickerst, kannst du ja jedes Mal eine Karte ziehen.
Mhm.
Krass, okay.
Creatures and opponents and spells.
So you can think of removal spells that kill your opponent's creatures and trigger your repartee creatures, or you can think of pump spells or combat tricks that boost your own creatures while helping them along the way.
Prismari's all about Opus, so they're trying to cast the biggest, most bombastic spells in this set.
Opus is an instant or sorcery spell, and you will get something, but you will get something more every time you cast an instant or sorcery spell that you spent 5 or more mana on. So it is an upgrade for casting especially powerful instants and sorceries.
Witherbloom is all about gaining
Gab's doch
life
schon-
and the idea that once you gain life, you get extra abilities.
Who doesn't love a good
Gab's
life gain
Opus
theme?
nicht schon
They have an
im
ability word
Original
infusion,
Strixhaven?
which cares about if you
Irgendwie
gain
so, ja.
life this turn, and their playstyle really is going to the board with pests and trying to attack, go wide, care about creatures dying, and gain life all the while.
They get better as you gain life.
Lorehold aptly is the one school that has a returning mechanic, Flashback, which we just felt was perfect. It was really the impetus for why we wanted to use these mechanics in the first place. We were trying to do graveyard themes for Lorehold, of caring about cards leaving your graveyard, and Flashback just felt like a perfect tool to do that.
Increment is the Quandrix mechanic, the math school, all about numbers. Quandrix creatures with the increment mechanic will grow in size whenever you cast a spell that you spent more mana on than the creature's power or toughness. And you'll keep growing your creature over time as you cast bigger and bigger spells throughout the game.
You know, math is all about adding numbers
Ein Würfel
and just
dienen.
getting as big as you possibly can.
So we have a new planeswalker here, Delian Fell.
Professor Delian Fell, a Witherbloom professor.
Da machen wir mal Pause.
Delian-Fell.
Noch ein Prof.
Der war der
Ja.
aus dem Intro-Film, oder?
Ja, genau. Du kriegst Leben, you draw a card and lose 1 life für 0, destroy target creature, okay. You get in the blame whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Okay.
Ja, Classic.
Ja. Vor allen Dingen, der ist für 5, das heißt, der kann eigentlich direkt nächsten Turn. Kannst du
Classic
den,
Delian Fell. Ja, stimmt, du kommst schnell hin. Wenn du in eine Runde verteidigen kannst, dann
Ja.
passt es schon, das Emblem.
Card Draw, Removal, bisschen Live. Also ich ist ein guter Dude, würde ich sagen.
Und hat
Delian
eine
Fell.
gute Win-Condition oder Combo-Piece-Emblem.
Ja, auf jeden Fall gut für Willow Dusk, für mein Willow Dusk Deck.
Stimmt, ja. Ist
Leben dazu bekommen.
nice.
Sir.
He's kind of got that dark, broody energy, a mysterious past. Can you trust him? Can you not?
I really like the Delian Fell card because it's kind of a return to Planeswalkers from when we first started designing them.
Planeswalkers are the most powerful beings in the multiverse,
Fühlt sich ein bisschen
and so it's not
classic
often that you get to meet a
Planeswalker-mäßig
brand new one.
I definitely recommend checking out our main set fiction and learning more about this brand new planeswalker.
The slow lands are such great lands for Standard. I'm really happy to have them back. Standard cares a lot about what the untapped lands are in the format, and for diversity of gameplay, we try and vary it up over time.
Ja,
The slow
sehr
lands
gut.
are really fun ones because they enter untapped
Keine
as the game
Snarls.
progresses
Keine
instead of
Snarls,
as
ja,
the game
diesmal.
begins, which gives power to slower strategies and the game continuing. So really happy to get them back here and introduce them to
Ja,
Standard.
sehr gute Sache.
Archaics are some of the main antagonists of the set.
I love the Archaics. I'm the kind of player where the bigger a creature is, the more exciting it is.
They are these huge, colorless creatures you'll find out in Arcavios that threaten the land. And they use the Converge mechanic and care about the colors of mana spent to cast it and using as many different colors as possible to make them as powerful as possible.
Okay, Daniel, they tell me that you designed the commander decks. First of all, how many are there?
We got 5, one for each college of Strixhaven. You know, we wanted to get that representation in there, each with the returning students that you know from original Strixhaven. Yeah, so these are the returning characters. You know, the main set focuses on the new cast of characters, while these are the students you met the first time we were there, but now they're a bit older, they're a little mature in their life, they're doing their final theses. Some are graduating, becoming planeswalkers, and traveling the multiverse. So these 5 decks, I really wanted to approach as if they're a full package story of that college. Yeah, when you pick it up, it's really themed. Like, you feel like you're on Strixhaven. You know, things coming back. We have the old commander deck, some cards from that, the old set of Strixhaven itself, and then obviously some main set cards even popped in the decks. Yeah, we got a few in there.
We also incorporated the school mascots into each of the decks, so the other commander that you'll find in there is themed one for each of the school. They're new designs for the mascots, and it was really fun to create characters around these sometimes very weird and very wonderful creatures.
And some of them are pretty animal-like. I hear there might even be an otter in one of them.
Otter.
So with Lorehold, for example, it's really nice to theme that deck to what Lorehold is actually doing in the story and their whole college about digging up history. So in Commander, it's about pitching to the graveyard. You're trying to get those big creatures into the graveyard, even small creatures for the white-based effects. And then you reanimate them. You get them out of the graveyard, and then Quintorius is going to bring along Spirit Friends as well. I was really inspired by him because his original uncommon card was a really cool effect when something leaves the graveyard and make a 3/2 spirit. It was just kind of rated at a way that wasn't super desirable in Commander. So in the Planeswalker form, I gave him that same ability along with some other ways to fill up your graveyard. But the whole deck, it has a spirit theme as a sub-theme because you're going to make all these 3/2 spirits and then buff them up and just as an anthem, swarm your enemies. Silver Quill Influence. This deck is led by Killian, who people, when they built the uncommon version, I noticed online, were building an Auras deck because the original Killian would reduce the cost of spells that target creatures. So I thought, we could do that here, like an Aura of Influence. That's the creed of Silver Quill. They're a little pushy, they're like politicians, they have a lot of influence. So with his card, he is goading your opponent's creatures with those auras to attack each other. Don't come over here, attack them. And that's how he kind of wins the game. He sneaks in and gains benefit from them beating up each other. Prismari Artistry is a deck built around casting big spells, with rooting big spells. With the bigger the spell, the bigger the elemental that comes in. Unlike normal blue-red decks, typically you're trying to build a draw engine, a little ping them down over time. I really want to emphasize the big matters here. If you cast a Blasphemous Act for 9 mana, you're going to get a 9/9 elemental that rushes in and beats the crap out of your opponents. With Witherbloom Pestilence, we had to lean back into the old theme of life gain at least a little to make some of the reprints work within the deck, but thankfully the whole deck is about sacrificing, and the best thing to sacrifice in Witherbloom are the pest tokens, which gain you life, therefore triggering Dina and all the other effects in the deck. So the idea of this deck is to build your army of little pest creatures that you don't super care about, they usually chump block, do whatever, but then you sacrifice them to power up your spells and defeat your opponents. Quandrix Unlimited is led by Zimone, who is all about big numbers. Her original card was mostly ramp and card draw. Here we wanted to make X spells matter. So the bigger the number of X, the bigger the reward, and she'll help you ramp out those effects by reducing the cost. And X really is the limit in the math school. The bigger the spell, the faster your enemies fall. So there's a cycle of visiting professors here, all monocolor, and they're all casting a very well-known spell, infamous if you will, as their prepared spell. And my favorite of this cycle is Iganjo Dynastorian, visiting from my favorite plane, Kamigawa.
Okay, die haben nicht hier Healing-Salbe als Ding gemacht, sondern Replenish.
Gott sei Dank.
Replenish, ja, das ist ein bisschen cooler als
Return all
drei
chain
Label.
cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, ja.
Ja, das ist
Sehr
krass.
gut. Ja.
Krass. Okay, geil.
Ja, gute Karte.
Ja, gute Karte.
Jetzt sind wir bei den Commander-Karten, ne? Also
Stimmt,
aus
das ist
den
eine
Precons.
Commander-Karte. Okay, ja, dann vergiss, was ich gesagt habe. Das ist ja gar nicht von denen. Aber dann sind die Commander-Karten.
Ne, ich schätze mal, wir sind jetzt im Lorehold
Ja.
Precon.
Ja, okay, dann haben die auch krasse Spells drauf. Okay,
These professors are coming and teaching these spells. Replenish on this spell is a very famous commander card, and it's going to work in that deck because it's going to bring all your auras back. There's one more in each deck, pretty cheeky things in there. One of them even lets you cast a spell that is not playable currently in Commander. When a player sits down with one of these decks, I really hope that they just have a good time with that college. Like they get to see what that college is doing. They get to tell a story. The best part about any Commander game is that each player gets to do their thing. And I think there's a lot of fun to be had with these decks.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome when people really resonate and feel like they've found a friend in our characters and, want to build a Commander deck around them and are excited to see them again. So always want to reciprocate on that.
Sarah, I love magic art more than most things in the world.
Same.
Yeah, and I bet I could talk to you forever, but I'm just wondering what you'd like to show me from the set.
There are so many cool things in this set. Look at these super rad dual lands set. Look at these super lands.
The borderless portal view lands are a really fun opportunity for us to again showcase that magic that is unique to each of the schools and see beyond into places that may not even exist on Arcavios.
And it's a really interesting dimensionality to show these two locations in one place. And we worked really hard to place the portals in the same place on each land with the same dimensions so that they felt really coherent across the set of 5 of them.
I really encourage fans to take a look through, see what you see on the other side. side, and maybe in a future set, you'll see the completed cycle.
So we have some really beautiful, shiny, basic lands. These highlight students casting their magic in really distinctive styles.
The full art spellcraft lands. I am a real sucker for the mana symbols. I think the kind of dark silhouette in front looks so cool.
And we were really deliberate about the silhouette style so you could tell which school the students are from. And they're casting magic and it's taking the shape of the mana symbols.
It was a great opportunity for us to showcase the school's theme and their magic alongside this epic symbol that the students themselves were conjuring.
With extended art frames, it's a really interesting opportunity. Even just extending the border of the art off the edge of the card makes a kind of a big difference. It's like widescreen.
There's always this fun opportunity to see what little Easter eggs artists might stick into the edges of the art. They always know that a portion of it won't be necessarily seen in the standard art, and lots of artists like to take that as an opportunity to get like a little secret into the extended. So maybe take a look at those a little closely next time.
So we also have some really cool field notes cards.
Okay.
It's kind of a sneaky way for us to get more than one individual piece of art on one card, right?
Okay.
So there's little vignettes.
It's been a treatment that we've done a handful of times now, and it just kind of makes sense. You know, field notes, they're on a field trip.
I really wanted to get that little idea of it being a student's notebook. Maybe little sketches, little pieces of ink splatter, depending on the school, little pieces of calligraphy.
So it's a really interesting, it's not just one picture and there's color and then there's no color. They usually look very hand-drawn, so there's like, you get a feeling of the hand of the artist behind it, which is really fun.
The idea is that these are little snapshots of the students actually going out, exploring the real world, capturing their learnings on paper.
This one especially, because I mean, I've seen artist sketchbooks and this is how you learn anatomy. You have to paint someone in 15 different poses, you know, yeah, super cool.
We also have right in front of us some really beautiful borderless dragons.
Beautiful.
Look at these guys.
I really loved that we kind of got that old school sort of portraiture style with these and showed the dragons in just a very different light, very much being their most academic selves.
I was gonna say, these are very students.
Yeah. The elder dragons are, you know, scholars. They are the ones that founded their colleges, respectively, and so they're kind of a fun, rare, playful chance to see these dragons in slightly less draconic poses.
We normally see them in their main set art and in other places just being cool, epic dragons, which is super fun. But the idea of putting them into these very refined academic settings and getting to showcase them with their quills or their instruments and their brushes was really just a fun reference to both the style of art you might expect to see in an academic setting with a little bit of playfulness to it.
The Borderless Planeswalker cards, they have this very like heavy kind of symbolic feel to them. And behind each professor is kind of their abstracted magic in a really kind of interesting way.
We wanted to evoke a similar feeling on our Borderless Planeswalkers, both for Ral and for Delian Fel. This allowed us to create a little bit more of like an illuminated manuscript version of those two characters to get a sense almost like you're reading about them in a textbook or an ancient scroll, perhaps sometime in the future.
The Mystical Archive is back, still delivering on a lot of the same excitement, new cast of spells that people will get to discover, but that treatment was so incredible that we knew we needed to go back and do it again.
It was really an opportunity.
So, da gab es doch gar nicht so diese Bonus-Sheets. Das war so das erste Mal, wo so ein komplett anderer Bonus-Sheet dabei war. Und das war richtig.
Und auch die Frames waren auch so anders als sonst. Und das, also die Artstyles auch. Die ganze japanische, die gab es ja, die ganzen japanisch-only-Karten.
Ja, voll. Damals war das noch so, oh krass, so ein Stil auf einer Magic-Karte und so. Und jetzt, so, jetzt sind alle Dämme gebrochen. Damals war das
diesen Aufschrei bei dieser einen Karte, welche waren das noch?
Faithless Looting, glaube ich.
Faceless Looting, genau, wo dieses ganz
Artwork
besondere Artwork war, genau, wo so sehr realistisch aussah, wo es diesen Aufschrei gab und
so lächerlich
würde
aus
heute
heutiger
kein
Sicht,
Hahn mehr danach krähen. Ja, genau, aus heutiger Sicht, so jedes Secret Lair sieht 20 mal heftiger aus als das.
Ja.
For us to bring back something that was one of my favorite parts about the original set. The art style is phenomenal, and it's such a beautiful illuminated manuscript that really evokes this sense of grandeur and history and past. Also that strange, magical, esoteric aspect to it.
And the story ties so well to the set because the idea behind the Mystical Archives cards is that you're seeing an illustration of the very first time this spell was cast. You know, you can picture yourself as a student in the Biblioplex doing your research and your due diligence and studying your spellcraft and looking up, you know, the first time Force of Will was cast. Force of Will is a really beautiful card on the Mystical Archives bonus sheet. The artist is Rowena Kai. She has a really distinctive style. She tends to use that powdery kind of like slate neutral blue in a lot of her work, which fit really perfectly with that card composition. And I think that big black circle in the middle gives like a really beautiful stage to her illustration. If you see her work up close, the face of the figure is really beautifully detailed and has a lot of emotion.
For the rares and the mythics, we knew that we wanted to really reach and find some of the most iconic, some of the most powerful, dynamic, awesome spells from across Magic.
We wanted to balance with the Mystical Archive having references both to the plane itself and also to other places. So Vampiric Tutor, for example, we're showcasing a Silver Quill student, so perhaps this is a spell that maybe originated on Arcavios.
And so we really wanted to make sure we chose spells that were even more iconic from Magic's history and illustrate them in our beautiful illuminated manuscript art style. I wanted the feeling to be as you're opening up a book and you're flipping through the tomes of Magic history that you see these iconic spells like Force of Will and Vampiric Tutor, and they're kind of jumping off the page and coming to life for you.
These Mystical Archive cards are so cool.
Yeah.
Look at this smallpox.
I know. It's so awesome.
Yeah, because you have this like figure that's like completely dimensional, and you can see his claws and see his hands, and then over top of it you have these like circles, which aren't kind of anything real necessarily, but like lend this kind of symbology to it, which makes it feel like it has even more meaning.
Sure.
So we have the whole Mystical Archives bonus sheet, and then we have a Japanese version, which is like, goes even deeper.
Sure.
Wow. That one in particular is another version of Smallpox, and we really get to play with artists and their unique styles. So this is an artist that draws everything that is cats. And so it's really, really fun to just kind of send them a concept and know that I'm gonna get back some sort of cat.
Yeah, she got a very similar art description from this card, but she draws cats. That's
Totally
what you get.
And are all the artists that work on the Japanese Mystical Archive Japanese?
Yeah, we have an art director actually in Tokyo who works with us all the time, Yuki Koizumi. He's a total rock star. And we also worked with a Japanese agency called Kogoro. They help us out a lot. They're real experts, yeah.
Are you a cat person, Daniel?
I'm more of a dog person, but this art is pretty sweet.
I'm a smallpox person.
Yeah, these are righteous. It's immediately evocative. Like, these are obviously part of the Japanese tradition, especially some of these.
We also have a third style there. So
Okay.
it's the Japanese Mystical Archive, but with a special foil treatment over the top.
So this is actually our Silver Scroll foil. It's actually a brand new Eclipse treatment, different than the previous foil etch treatment that you saw in original Strixhaven. It's a little bit reminiscent of the gilded frames that we saw in Streets of New Capenna, but these are especially gorgeous.
There are 10 Borderless special guest cards in the set. This is kind of a meta idea that we had. So each of these special guest cards, you'll have a professor teaching their students, and they are casting a lesson in magic. And the idea was that the magic that they're casting is visually represented in the style of the Mystical Archives.
So for example, with Sylvan Library, we see a Witherbloom professor teaching these students in the midst of a much more outdoorsy academic setting than you might expect to see, but that really conveys both the thing that the students are learning about, as well as the type of school that they're part of.
Thank you all so much for joining me. I learned a ton. We made a great mess of the table in the best way possible, but yeah, this was a delight to speak with all of you. You're so knowledgeable about what you do.
Well, we've been to university.
True, yeah.
A very specific one, which you will all be able to join us at soon.
So that's it for our debut. We saw so many cool cards today. The Emeritus Cycle, the Elder Dragons, the Mystical Archive, and especially those Japanese Silver Scroll foils. I mean, they're so sleek. Those accents really pop in person. The Full Art Basic Lands. I mean, there's so many cool cards. So let's get to our local game stores for pre-release on April 17th. The set releases on Arena on April 21st. And the full release is everywhere on April 24th. Thank you so much for joining me. We caught just a glimpse of this place, but there is still so much left to be discovered. And I'll leave that to you. Goodbye.
Tschüss, Sam.
Ach, Sam.
Ach, Sam.
So, das ist so ein cooler Typ, Mann.
Da haben sie
Wirklich.
den richtigen Typen gecastet für
Ja,
das Video,
also
finde ich. Total.
der kann ungefähr, weiß ich nicht, 90% der ganzen Reveals und so kann er direkt hosten. Mit so einer schönen Stimmung, wie der einfach erzählt. Und auch, vielleicht sind wir so ein bisschen biased, weil wir halt schon die Videos kennen, ne, von Heuristic Study und deswegen schon so seine Stimme auch Intus hatten, aber ja, richtig cool rübergebracht.
Voll, ja.
Ja, war ein richtig cooles Video, oder?
Ja, voll. Schon ein bisschen gehypt jetzt, muss ich sagen, für das Set auf jeden Fall. Mehr als davor auf jeden Fall. Sieht richtig schön aus.
Ja, das ganze Setting, ich habe das jetzt Gefühl, was mich damals so ein bisschen an Strixhaven gestört hat, dass es alles so ein bisschen heile Welt innerhalb dieses Campuses war, wird jetzt so ein bisschen aufgebrochen, dadurch, dass die jetzt auch mal rausgehen, die ganzen Studenten, und da mal Abenteuer erleben. Macht es für mich jetzt viel besser und viel interessanter, weil ich glaube, ich habe jetzt das Gefühl, jetzt wird das Ganze auch ein bisschen spannend. Auch so, man lernt halt wirklich die Welt von Arcadius mal ein bisschen mehr kennen, als nur Bücher wälzen auf dem Campus. Ein bisschen hart gesagt.
Jetzt haben die studiert, jetzt gilt es dazu, sozusagen das in die Praxis umzusetzen und raus.
Ja.
Aber ich fand wirklich auch ich habe Lust auf einen dieser Elder Dragons. Also irgendwie fand ich die richtig geil. Mit Instant und Sorcery ist alle verbunden. Ja, und auch die Commander-Decks. Also
Ja, sieht cool aus. Ich bin gespannt auf die sekundären Commander. Und ich bin vor allem gespannt, was für Oldschool-Spells sie da auf diese Prepared-Karten gepackt haben. Das finde ich
Ja.
sehr, sehr interessant. Also, das finde ich echt eine geile Idee. Meine Prediction übrigens für den gebannten Spell, was der
Ja.
Daniel Holt meinte, Time Walk.
Also Time Walk, nein, wirklich.
Ich glaube, Time Walk ist meine Prediction. Ich meine, weil du kannst ja die Kreatur mega teuer machen und dann kannst du auch für 2 Mana
Ja.
noch Time Walken. Das wäre ja okay, vielleicht.
Könnte sein. Ja, good guess.
Gut. Hauptsache good guess.
Hauptsache good guess.
Mal gucken. Aber ich bin gespannt. Also ich
Ja, mal
habe
gucken.
Bock auf die Preview-Season bekommen.
Ja.
Definitiv.
Ja, ich auch. Und ich bin auch gespannt auf die Story, weil jetzt haben sie jetzt noch nicht so wirklich viel verraten, was da noch alles passiert.
Die
So auch so mit.
Story ist mittlerweile schon fast komplett, oder? Also wenn du es liest.
Ist es schon komplett? Stand heute?
Weiß ich nicht, aber
Okay.
es gibt auf jeden Fall schon einige Episoden. Keiner von uns hat es gelesen,
Weil
glaube ich.
weil das muss ja jetzt auch praktisch die Brücke schlagen zu Reality Fracture.
Fractures of Reality Fracture, genau.
Das ist ja dann das nächste In-Universe-Set. Das heißt, irgendwie müssen sie da ja schon
irgend so ein Portal aufmachen, was alles öffnet.
Wo plötzlich Jace rausspringt.
Ich denke mal, die Studenten verkacken halt am Ende komplett und dann öffnen die halt komplett den Reality Fracture wieder und dann ist alles im Eimer. Aber mal gucken. Wie gesagt, ich weiß nicht. Man kann die, glaube ich, schon zum Großteil lesen, aber haben wir nicht gemacht. Da ist Ewe unsere Story-Expertin meistens.
Ja. Ja, gut. Das ist doch schön. Aber uns würde natürlich auch noch interessieren, was ihr denn so denkt von dem neuen Set. Hat es euch abgeholt? Habt ihr Lust, mal wieder nach Strixhaven zu kommen und euch in die Wildnis zu wagen? Vielleicht ein paar Drachen als Commander-Decks zu bauen? Schreibt es gerne noch in die Kommentare. Würde uns auf jeden Fall interessieren, dass wir so einen ganz guten Überblick haben, was ihr so denkt. Genau. Und dann würde ich sagen, vielen Dank für diesen schönen Stream mit euch. Und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal.
Jo, macht's gut.
Tschüssle.
Ciao, ciao.
Macht's gut. Tschüssi.